Some people might think that this kind of weather is beautiful. I don't know. Maybe it can be. But all I can tell you is I'm glad I have a shop that's got heat. Welcome back to the shop and to the channel. Um, on the previous video, I disassembled this Delta Rockwell tool grinder. I also mentioned in the last video that I'm trying this different microphone setup where I'm actually speaking as I'm recording this versus doing some voiceovers. Don't know how long that's going to last, but if I continue liking it, maybe I'll continue doing it, at least for some of it. I still think voiceovers have their place, but anyway, back to the project at hand. I got everything taken apart. I got everything cleaned. I do have some new Timken bearings to replace these SKF bearings. These should be okay. I don't know where these were made, if these are USA made or not. I know a lot of Timken bearings are no longer made in the US, which is kind of a shame, but you know, it is what it is. The other parts, I put them in my ultrasonic cleaner with just water. All of this is cast aluminum, or at least the small parts are cast aluminum. And every degreaser that I have, including Super Clean, Purple Power, some other stuff I bought at the Hazard Fraught store, it's all, you know, don't use this on aluminum because it can damage the aluminum. So I chose not to. So I just used water and cleaned up. I still have to clean up this valve for the fluid, and I don't have a hose, or should I say a piece of pipe for this, because a piece of pipe will come down to the wheel. I might have to try to figure that out, see what I can come up with. I still need to blast the rest of the rust out of the inside of the coolant reservoir. That might have to wait until I get my sandblast cabinet online. It is inaccessible at the moment anyway, where it's at in my garage. And I've got to do a bunch of stuff to it before I can make it ready. And the only media I have is aluminum oxide. I'd like to get some glass bead as well, be able to change it out. That blast cabinet should make it easy to do that. The table's cleaned up fairly well. There's no any real marks on them. I don't have a miter gauge for this one. It wasn't with it. This has a 1/2-inch slot in the table for a miter gauge. I'll put a picture of what one should look like. If you happen to have one that is orphaned, or know of where I could find one, I'd appreciate it. You can drop me an email. I put the email here down at the bottom of the screen for you to send me anything that you might have. So I'm almost ready to put this back together. However, there is one piece of this that I think I want to try fixing it, and it's going to be something I've never tried before. So now the question I have to answer for myself is, do I want to try to fix this? This is broken. It should look like this. It obviously doesn't. So do I want to figure out how to fix this? Someone else tried to fix it, and it turned into a mess. It was obviously someone tried to weld it, and this is cast steel or cast iron. You're not going to weld to it. So I did clean up the edges a bit, and I got a paper template of at least part of what this should look like. And I've got this piece of steel. Can I braze this? I might be able to. I don't know. I've never brazed anything before. It's the right thickness. I suppose the worst thing that can happen is I cut it off and abandon it. I've got some brazing rod. I've got a torch. Just got to have the guts. So I'm going to get this cut out on the bandsaw. I'll get this cleaned up. And we'll try, what the hell? I got nothing to lose. And we'll try brazing this. Hopefully I don't make this worse. It's a little dark over here by this bandsaw, so hopefully I can see everything all right. This blade might be a little coarser than it should be. I was cutting some thicker stock the other day, and so I have it slowed down. Get this rough cut. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the exact contour. Hopefully I don't break the blade. So far so good, I guess. Can I see my line? Yeah, I think I can see it. I should darken that up. There we go. All right, let's go see if it fits. Do a little shaping. All right, so this is where I'm at. So that's a better fit. I mean, this thing doesn't need to be like super strong. It just needs to be strong enough not to fall off. And I guess it's going to help with like some dust, not flinging all over the place. I'm not really worried about what this looks like. I guess the next thing is to clean this up here a little bit more. Take it over to the welding table, see what happens. All right, so never done this before. Then again, like most things I do in my shop, I've never done before. But like most things I've done in my shop, you got to start somewhere. You only watch so many YouTube videos before you have to put on your big boy pants and just give it a try. So I'm going to start. I want to preheat this part as per the YouTubes. I don't think this needs to be super hot. At least not at first. I am going to burn a lot of this paint off, but oh well. That's probably good. So now we'll swap out this tip. That looks what I'm used to seeing on the internet. Trying to get both ends of this thing hot. Maybe a little bit more gas here. I don't know how much gas, fuel, oxygen mixture I should really use, but from what I understand, you got to get this thing till it's like an orangish heat. Maybe not yet. Something's happening. I don't know if this is right or not. Come down here. I don't know if it's sticking to both sides. That's the problem I'm seeing right now. So maybe the main casting is not hot enough. So I'm going to move the heat over to that part and see if I can't get this a little bit warmer. I am worried that I'm going to end up doing damage to this thing and ruining this grinder, which would totally suck. It's actually hard for me to see what the heck. So it seems to be flowing onto the sheet steel, but the cast part seems to be a little bit reluctant to take the braze. I don't know if I didn't clean it enough or what the deal is, but I'm gonna keep going with this. Like I said, the worst thing that could happen is I take this thing apart and I end up grinding it off. Yeah, if that happens, then that happens. Maybe welding this would have been a better option. I don't know. This is not going well. Not that I expected it to. Well, I don't know what that looks like, but it's something. There's some holes in there. Let me see if I can't fix that. Very difficult sometimes to see because it is bright. But there's some holes right there. See if I can't fill this in. No idea what the inside of this looks like. That might be a real shit show in there. It's certainly a shit show out here. I think we're going to let that go. See what it looks like once it cools off. Started snowing. I don't know how well the snow comes up on camera, but typical Northeast Ohio weather, I guess. One moment it's snowing, next moment it's a blizzard. Next thing you know, it's February and you're outside in the shorts, in a t-shirt, power washing off a lathe. Because that's what I was doing last year, 11 months ago. Well, it's been about an hour since I was out here in the shop. And this has cooled down completely. And it looks, it looks better than I expected it to. So let's go ahead and clean this off. See what it looks like. Well, it ain't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's stuck together. So I don't know if I'm going to bother doing anything more here. If I look at the other side, there is a piece missing here. I mean, it does look better, but it is kind of a mess. Lots and lots of holes. So I think what I am going to do is I'm going to cut a piece that would fit there. I can weld that, which is the MIG welder. So we'll do that, and then maybe I'll try to clean that up and rebraze it. What do you think? Well, let's start by finding a piece of material that I can use for that. Let's see, what do I got? All right, so I got a piece here. It's a little bit longer than it should be, but that's okay. I'll cut that off. I'm more interested in getting this correct, or at least, in the right spot. Let me clean up this edge here a little bit. That should be good. Get this tacked into place. Of course, my battery's dead in my welding helmet, so that did not feel good. Battery dies on that thing quite often. I'm going to have to replace it. I need to get a new welding helmet. You got any recommendations for welding helmets? Let me know in the comments. I've got this Art Captain helmet that they sent me. That I don't know that I've really had all that great of luck with it. But it did darken. Let's finish this out with the Arc Captain helmet, and then we'll get this cleaned up and see if we can't braze this again. Yeah, it's not a terrible helmet, that's for sure. I just need to do something with the lens. I take my readers out of my Miller helmet so I can see put this one. So now what we got to do is I need to clean this braze out of all the junk. Let me get a wire brush and a wire wheel, and then we're going to try to braze that piece there in. Alrighty, let's see. Clean this up. Got a wire wheel on a angled die grinder. All right, now this would probably work better if this was angled. So can I get this positioned like this so this is flat? Probably not very easily. That would be a better angle. I think that might work even better. Okay, so we're going to give this whole brazing thing another try. Let's hope it goes a little better than it is last time. Well, I can't say it was a total failure. It just wasn't great. This end down here didn't even braze at all. So when I ground off what was there was nothing left. So try to put a little heat into the part. I'm thinking with it flat, it might flow a little nicer. We'll see. Anything's going to be better than what I wouldn't say anything, but I don't think I could screw this up. Even me. Not a lot of a gap down here. Maybe that's why the braze didn't flow, or maybe it just didn't flow. But I can see I'm already starting to melt the braze that was there. So that's good. Can I get a little more? Can I get it to flow into that gap? This is tricky. This is not as easy as YouTube makes it look to be. I'm torn between how I TIG weld. Right? When you think about TIG welding, you dip the rod into the puddle, you let the puddle melt the rod. Where here, I think you're supposed to put this into the flame. It's so hard to see because it's so bright. Even with the glasses I'm wearing, I don't think they're dark enough for this kind of work. This is not flowing as nicely as I would think it would. I'm going to try making this a bit hotter. Yeah, I think the extra heat is helping. It's certainly flowing differently than it was before. So I don't know if this is good or bad. That rod's getting too short, so I'm going to get a longer one here. I still think I need different glasses. This might be too hot. Turn down this heat some. See, I feel like it's blowing. It's like blowing it away. It's like there's too much turbulence. That makes sense. So it's a longer flame. Doesn't melt the brazing rod as easily. That's why I'm kind of wondering if this needs to be a hotter flame. Yeah, I think I'm making this a little bit worse. So I didn't fill in the crack up there. I'm not sure I'm going to worry about that. But what I do want to do is now turn this way. Getting this temperature right, I think, is where I need to learn. I don't believe that this is where it should be. All right, well, that is going to have to do. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this thing any better, which ain't saying much because that looks like crap. Oh boy. Well, again, I'm going to let this cool off for about an hour or so, and then we'll come back out and see what it looks like. Well, this has had plenty of time to cool down. Let's go ahead and clean it up and see what kind of disaster we have on our hands. I don't think it'll be that bad, but it's no Keith Fenner or Keith Rucker Braze job, that's for sure. I'm learning. Everything I've done in this shop to date has been something I've never done before. Reclamp this. It's far from perfect, that's for sure. But it is symmetrical, kind of. All right, well, that's good enough. You know, I could make this a little bit smoother, maybe even fill it with some JB Weld or some Bondo, but meh. I'm just going to put a little bit of primer on it, just so it doesn't rust. And then we're going to call it a day. All right, there you go. You know, it ain't perfect, not even by a long shot. But I got a lot to learn as it comes to brazing. I think this makes this tool just a little bit better just because it's going to have that extra bit of guard on it for dust or exploding wheels. But, I learned a little bit about brazing. I learned I got a lot to learn, that's for sure. Well, I think that's going to do it for this video. I had a lot of fun doing this. It didn't come out great, but hey, if you can provide some tips for me, drop a comment down below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate the likes. It does help the channel. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. It helps that YouTube algorithm, lets people know that this channel is out there and people enjoy it, at least at some level. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, there's some links down in the description. You can become a channel member. You can join through Patreon, or you can even make a donation through PayPal. But just watching the videos, giving it a like, that's enough. If you'd like to do extra, it is greatly appreciated. Well, that's it for this week. I appreciate you watching. We'll see you on the next one.